À nos enfants de la patrie, le jour de gloire est arrivé. Contre nous de la tyrannie, l'étendard sanglant est levé. L'étendard sanglant est levé. Entendez-vous, dans nos campagnes, mugir ces féroces soldats. Ils viennent jusque dans vos bras, égorger vos fils et vos compagnes, aux armes, citoyens.
I despise him in the most profound way. The reason I am so disturbed by him is because of two factors. Number one, his absolute disregard for human life. He is capable of destroying countless souls without any sense of remorse, guilt, or conscience. Number two, his arrogance and his ego are absolutely limitless. This is a quote from one of the great Jewish sages of his time. But who was this human being he was analyzing? Who was this person, on one hand, so despised, and yet that very same figure elicited so much affection and love from so many Jews? Many Jews saw him as a Messiah, as the ultimate Savior, the greatest blessing for the world and for the Jewish people. Welcome to the world and story of Napoleon Bonaparte. At the age of 23, he was virtually unknown. 4 years later, he is the greatest general that France has known in centuries. 2 years later, he is the absolute ruler of France. 6 years later, he's ruling the largest empire Europe has seen since the days of the Roman Caesars. 70 million people under his absolute rule. He is the man who dreamt to control the world, and he almost pulled it off. You can't understand the Jewish world today without a thorough understanding of Napoleon and his milieu. His influence on the Jewish people was enormous. Its ramifications vibrate to this very day. In the middle of the Hakafas, the Rebbe begins to sing a song. That was not unusual, but the tune was not only unusual, but shocking. It was the tune of the La Marseillaise.
À nos enfants de la patrie, le jour de gloire est arrivé.
The French anthem, written in 1792 in the middle of the Revolution. This has become over time the anthem of the French nation. Its lyrics brutal, speaking of "to arms, citizens, let the impure blood of the enemy water the fields." The Rebbe begins this tune and yet he changes the lyrics. Hasidim were shocked, perplexed. His great-great-grandfather, the Alter Rebbe, said how he despised Napoleon and worked so hard to make sure that the revolution should not reach the borders of his country, Russia, and its Jews. And here, the Rebbe was publicly, on Simchas Torah, singing that tune. Almost 20 years later, it was December 1991, Shabbos Vayeshev. I'll never forget it, I was present.